Hello, and welcome to another episode of Amiga Vibes here on SNeaR Radio. And it's been a while once again. I counted 6 weeks maybe. So relearning everything once again. But I think we have everything set up except that Silicon didn't get the Twitch stream to work yet. So let's see what happens with that, but you can listen to the audio stream or watch the video on YouTube or Kick. Right, September almost gone already, but the remixes have been, maybe they have been working during the summer and releasing the remixes now, but there was I forgot to count the new releases, but I think it was always over 10, 12 maybe, and we started with something. It was Gibs and Beams of Light. Yep. So let's see what I have lined up next. We shall continue with Cube, and the track is Wings of Death, Stage 7, Xandrilia's Domain. And let me think about how to start the track. That was Cube with Wings of Death, Stage 7 and Xandrilia's something. Lost the title from the screen. Xandrilia's Domain. Yeah, 6 weeks. Quite much has happened. I think I told in the last episode that there was change negotiations starting in our company, and they ended, and luckily I got to keep my job, so great with that. Of course, sad that lost some colleagues from but shit happens. Yeah, and then like usually in the autumn time when the schools and kindergartens start, there's all those viruses and bacteria around. So I've been sick, and also my daughter and son and so on. So spent some time in bed. It's that kind of things. And so good that I don't have the regular schedule, so would have missed anyway quite many Sundays. Okay, there was some weekends that I thought that I could have might have done the show, but actually I think announcing already on last show that we are going to have that themed show joined with Slagan and Xenon, so was planning to go with that, and then there was scheduling issues and so on and so on. But it might be that we have 2 shows next week, so let's see. What else? Let me think. Let's play next track. This is by Isacco, Garcia, Peveri, and title is English Country Garden. And there's actually a C64 game that has this a track playing. So, do you know what the game is? Let me well, tell me in the Discord chat after the track or during the track, and let's try to play it. Isacco, Garcia, Peveri, English Country Garden. Was it so? No, okay, I lost. No, English Country Garden. When I listened to the remix, I thought that, yeah, there's a game, and I had two options, either Trashman or the Hoverbower, and I remembered it incorrectly that it would be Trashman, but it was the Hoverbower where you are moving the lawn and trying to avoid some dog, maybe? I don't remember. But yeah, I had to check that from the YouTube long play videos. And yeah, speaking of C64, we have a first request, and it's not Amiga request, but it doesn't matter because I think actually the game is originally Amiga game, the X-Out, and it was requested by FS, and X-Out remix by Mikka in Finnish. Let's see, did I line it up? Yes, I did. So let's play it now. and X out, and it was requested by FS. X out. I don't remember if I told, but having such a great music, I had to check it out. And it's a shoot 'em up. I'm not good at those, but install it on my Amiga anyway and played, and got to listen to that track quite much because it's the high score playing or the end of the game music, so it was playing quite often. But a great track. Let's see, what shall we play next? You can drop your requests at slay.radio/request and join the chat with Discord and you can go there by typing slay.radio/Discord. I was gonna say about the Amiga Outrun Amiga edition. It has been updated twice now since the release, and there is a great video by Reassembler, the maker of the Outrun Amiga edition, where he explains how he has done some parts of the game. The first part is about drawing the road and how the arcade hardware actually works doing that, and so on. So nice content. Really recommend to see that. Watch that if you are interested to the Outrun. I had something lined up. Funky Data was commenting on the bet before the previous track, and it was Speedball 2 Retro Method by SNeaR. So let's play the whole track for Funky Data. not yet that. Yeah, so I can play YouTube videos. Figuring out the things now. By the way, is the sound okay for you? I think on my headphones it's missing some bass or something, but I cannot figure out where's the problem. So comment in the Discord if it's okay for you or not. Where was I? Yeah, well, that was the previous track was Speedball 2 Brutal Method by SNeaR. And I have everything mixed up here now. So, no, okay, yeah, it's okay. Just wrong title there. Yeah. While I figure out what went wrong previously, let's play next track, and it's also a new remix by Dr.Future, and it's Test Drive 2 Chill Out Edit. Dr.Future's Test Drive 2 Chill Out Edit, and it was very chill, or chilled out. Yeah, got my track list in order again. Pressed the shuffle button by accident, so that's why it was looking a bit messy. Yep. So let's play a next request, and it was requested by Edward. Hi. And Edward wanted to hear ALPA's remix of Enigma, a final Hyperbuss to Motala. So let's have a listen to that. ALPA's Spaceninja remix of Enigma Hyperbuss to Motala. And speaking of bus, I'm not gonna take a bus but a train to Tampere and Helsinki in 2 weeks, yeah. So no show, at least on the, what is it, 12th, or is it something like that? Well, yeah, anyway, it's autumn vacation time and I decided to take my kids to Tampere and Helsinki for a few days and leave my wife here to work. We had a situation like other way around in the beginning of summer, or not in the beginning of summer, but in the beginning of our summer vacations. So I was a week alone here at our house. So it was so nice that I decided to provide some alone time also for my wife during the autumn break. And yeah, we might visit the game museum at Tampere. Been there once and it was nice, at least for me. I'm not sure, was it great for my son who's 15, but well, yeah, we played some Amiga games and PC games and PlayStation 1 games and so on. And actually there was the arcade game of Outrun, was it Outrun 2 or, well, the modern Outrun, and many more. So at least my plan is to visit that, but we haven't decided where to go yet, except that in Helsinki on the third day we're gonna visit my brother and his family. And I was there actually a few weeks ago when we had our company's 20-year anniversary party. So it was like the venue was like 500 meters from my brother's apartment. So next day I went to visit them. But yeah, it's not very autumny weather yet. Still over like 12, 13 degrees or something. But getting there eventually, I think. Let's see what we shall play next. Let's try now to play that Flux request of, was it his? Yep, I think it was. Let's see if this was the correct URL that I typed in and downloaded the video. So if it is correct one, well, actually, well, let's try. It should be R-Type played live on Yamaha keyboard by Flux. So let's see, how do I do that? It's been a while. Let's try this one. And that was Flux, and we have a echo doing. At least I have a like double my voice in my ears. Yeah, something's not right. Well, let's see. Well, yeah, it was Flux outside played live on Yamaha keyboard. Yeah, nice to do this. So random. Not so often this shows you, so you kind of forget everything. Like I should update the now playing title to the stream when it's not from the mix. I do have a script that automatically uploads the currently playing track to the SNeaR headquarters when it's playing from the mix, but of course when I play it from something from YouTube or Amiga or something, I need to do it manually, so I forgot to do that. But yeah, and let's see, we're at the request list. Yeah, next request is by Lord Evil, and the track is Galoonia by Eivind Sommersten. So let's play that. Eivind, Sommersten and Galoonia, and it was requested by Lord Evil, and thank you for requesting that. I just realized that I don't have the regular demo section selected yet, because I just decided yesterday before going to sleep that I will do the show today. But let's see, I will figure out something. And while doing that, we are gonna play the next request. And the requester was Chalkney Aquarius. And the track is Dusty's Shadow of the Beast inside the Tree metal tribute, and I need to line it up. There. And I'm glad that you don't have the echo, because it's really annoying. It's like I have a bathroom in my head. I listen to my own voice like echoing. But yep. So let's play the track now. And Dusty's Shadow of the Beast inside the Tree metal tribute, and it was requested by Jokni Aquarius, and so thank you for requesting that. And yeah, I switched on my Amiga while it was already switched on, but I went through my list of demos that I have installed on the HD or comfort class and found one. I don't remember at all how long it is, but at least it has great music, so let's have a look. And just a minute. Yep. Yeah, and it's Artillery by Nah-Kolor. So great music at least, and that demo is also great, of course. Now I just have to remember how to play it or show it to you also. So yep, I think I have it ready, so let's try it out. And that was Artillery by Nah-Kolor. Fluke said that it pops in my headphones. Like I said, I didn't prepare it, and usually when I set my Amiga to play something, I need to set the levels on the mixer, and I was just looking at that demo, so I forgot totally to check the levels out, so probably was in this end. Sorry about that. Let's see, what do we have next? That one we played. Next requester is Mutated Goat, and the request is Gibs and Xenon 2, the real MegaBlast. I think it's this one, which is titled Xenon, the real ExaBlast, and this is the remastered version, so let's play this. That was Gibs, but it was not Xenon 2. It was Xenon, the real ExaBlast remastered. So I think I mixed while searching for the correct track. I mixed things, and played wrong track, but let's correct that soon. And yeah, Funky Data, I'm noticing that it's not hitting the limits, but I think I need to figure out something in the mix, because I can see that it's not going out from there like on full level. So I'll try to fix that soon, maybe. But while doing that, let's play another request from FS, and it was Fluke's LFT, and I couldn't find that, but maybe FS you meant LFF, and a Skid Row Cracktro song. Well, I'm gonna play that anyway now, so if I had that listed, no, I don't. If I do that, yep. So Tony Wiren, Fluke 73, LFF, Skid Row Cracktro song, Tyros edition. Let's play that. LFF by Fluke, and it was requested by FS, so thank you for requesting that. And I fiddled a bit with the levels, and also finally found out the reason for the echo in my headphones. I had pressed something while the OBS screen was active, and that enabled the what is that in English? I don't know. Well, one of the outputs with which comes only in my headphones, so luckily it doesn't get to the stream. But anyway, it had like half a second, or not half a second, 100 milliseconds or something delay, so not nice. Yeah, okay, yeah, I have wrong track listed next, so let's switch. This one. So let's play Xenon 2 MegaBlast by Gibs now next, as I played the wrong track previously. So here's a Gibs's version of MegaBlast. Yeah, actually I'm not sure if it will trigger something in the YouTube, but let's see. Slagon will tell me after this did it or not.
DJ, stop the music!
Xenon 2 MegaBlast by Gibs, and it was requested by someone mutated goat. Yeah. Hopefully that was the correct version. I think maybe. Oh yeah. And let's play track by Peter Clark. Yeah, that one I had listed in next. And the track is Complications from Encore 500 album, and it was requested by FS because it was playing the background previously. Yeah, let's play that now. If I have the correct button. Complications by Peter Clark, and it was requested by FS. Yeah, I bought a new bike this week. Yeah, it was this week because I noticed like 2 weeks ago that the what is it? Head tube of my old bike had a crack in it, and it's an aluminum frame, so I figured out that it might be lethal, and some situations if the crack like gets bigger in some bump or something. So bought a bike, not electric bike, but just normal city bike. I do have a mountain bike also, but then I have this add-on bike which connects to the, what is it called, the thing in the back where you can put your bags or something. So the add-on bike has like one wheel, pedals and handlebar, and it connects to the to my bike, and so my 4-year-old daughter can pedal in the back when we go to the kindergarten and so on. And we have had we have been having that, let's say like that, for long, maybe 10 years or something. I need to check what's the word for that thing. Anyway, we have the connection box in the rear rack, luggage carrier, for two bikes, for my wife's and for my bike. So when I had to buy a new bike, I took the luggage carrier from old bike and had to move it to the new one. And then I had the old bike in the garage back there and was thinking what to do with that. So decided to throw a message to Facebook's like this trash group where you can tell if you have something that you don't need anymore and then don't want any money for that, so someone can pick it up from you if you want to give it to someone. So this morning I made a ad to that and got like 5 or 6 responses immediately, and I had written my message in Finnish, like most of the ads there are posts, and with the picture of the bike. So I got 5 or 6 English speaking a message for English speaking that were after the bike. When I explicitly told in the message that the chassis is broken and cannot be fixed anymore, and actually we took used some excess force to make it worse so that no one will try to fix it, because it wouldn't be safe anyway. The crack was in such a spot that well, maybe some expert could fix that, but I was worried that someone will take the bike and sold it to someone, and then he or she will get hurt with that, breaking off the first rear, no, not rear, not first, the front tire. So yeah, so I think it was 5th person that I sent reply that, do you understand that this is not a full bike, that's just for the parts. So he was like, yeah, I do. So he came and took the old bike away and was going to fix his own bike, I think, or something like that. Yeah, and from bikes to cars, I was gonna play one more new September release, Amiga remix, and this is Supercars 2 intro by Isacco, Garcia, Peveri, who has done actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 remixes, or released 8 remixes in September. So let's play that one. Supercars 2 intro by Isacco, Garcia, Peveri. The name sounds Italian, maybe? My wife and son was in Italy this week, well, yeah, from Monday to Thursday. They went to see some Serie A football and then visit Pompeii and so on. So wouldn't be nice to be there, but I was here with sick daughter and so on. Well, it was planned. It was like this present to our son. He's 15. Really, yeah, the present was related to that. Xandrilia requested another Amiga demo. Let's play that from YouTube because I didn't have time to install it on the real thing. And yeah, the request was linked to the YouTube video. So let's try to play that, and I need to figure out how to do the things again. So bit off, and then here. Yeah, I don't have full screen YouTube video player set up, but let's go with this one. Yeah. And I forgot to update the title again. Yep, that was Last Train to Danzig by Kostan and Haujo, and it was requested by Funky Data, and it really wasn't full screen. For some reason, I think I used the same scene for the Flux video. I'm downloading the videos for YouTube and playing it through the VLC, and for some reason, for some videos, it doesn't fit the area that I set up it to fit. I need to debug that someday. And I did have something else also to write, to remember to do before the next show, and I will write it down right now. Yep. That one's played. Yep. Next request is by unknown user, and I think it might be Xenon, because it's the request is Mirko Hirsch follow the sign, and I do remember that this one is Xenon's favorite Amiga remix. Maybe it's someone else. It doesn't matter. Let's play that anyway. So Mirko Hirsch with Follow the Sign. Follow the Sign by Mirko Hirsch, something like that. And it was requested by unknown user. Unknown user. By the way, if the palm tree looks a bit brown, it's just because I haven't done a show for a while. Because usually I have a water bottle next to me, and after the show I will ditch the rest of the water for the tree. But I did, well, I do have the water now, so we'll water it after the show, which will be around 90 minutes. Yeah, I have something. Okay, yeah, I just don't have anything lined up. That's why the view is different now. Let's play one more YouTube video. Let's see. Let's see how in which size the video will be this time. And the tracks should be Wings of Death Game Music Stage 5 by Fluke. I didn't check out yet what I did download, so hoping that it's correct one. So let's see. Just need to get ready to update the stream title now. Let's. Okay, that was mic mute. Not pressing that yet. Where was it? Here. So, Wings of Death by Fluke, hopefully. Flux, Wings of Death, and it was requested by Edward, so thank you for requesting that. Yeah, and we have like 10 minutes to go, so I will do this and this and this and this. Yeah. And let's do also this one. So second to last track gonna play next. I had a like empty list in front of me, and then I remember that I have this playlist for like tracks to play in future shows. So I do have just fittingly 2 tracks there. So the next one is by Rapture, and it is Captain Planet and the Planeteers Linga. And it won't play if I do that, so let's play it using this button. No. No. Rapture and Captain Planet and the Planeteers link. I don't remember what was the element of link. Have I played that level or not? But nice remix anyway of that track. Yeah, Body Blows plays again, so it's time for me to go to sleep. Get ready for Monday and back to work. Thank you everyone for joining and chatting on the Discord. I tried to keep up with the chat. It always gets easier after the first hour, so the first hour is like racing against the time before the tracks end, trying to figure out that what should I do. Yeah, so you might get me back next Sunday, and before that we have a full week ahead with Boss Radio and Slay Radio. So Matt is back tomorrow, I think. Cactus on Tuesday. Boss is back on Wednesday. Actually, was Matt away this week or was it last week? I don't remember anymore. Then on Thursday, Slagan and Siona. And we shall have the special themed shows if everything goes well. Don't know yet about Friday, but SNeaR is back on Saturday, most likely, and then me on Sunday. Yep. I think I had something else to say also, but I don't remember. Well, anyway, like I said, thank you for joining in and sending all those requests. It's nice to get something to play. And now I can say that this might have been the first show without Turrican track playing as track or in the background. Maybe. I'm not sure. Has there been like track show like that before, but maybe. And for the last track I have lined up a track by Lyramion, and the track is Amber Star Gwen's Lament Classical. So good night and have a nice Monday and week ahead. Bye.